Heyo. So I got the exhaust out. It's a mbrp 4-inch turbo back exhaust. It's got kind of a funny little muffler on it. I have one of these kits that I got for my other truck, and the muffler was like twice the size or twice the length. It's not really a muffler, it's basically like a pass-through resonator or something. So I'm gonna put that on. I ordered some band clamps, some of the wider butt joint, not butt joint, but the what are they? I think they're lap joint band clamps. They got the step in them. I just like them better because they're nicer clamped than the wire ones they get. But they gave me three regular clamps, so like a 1-inch band clamp. Those actually look pretty good. But they gave me, like I said, a couple of the kind of like the horseshoe wire ones, and I don't want to really use those. So I got 2 of them coming, or I got more of them coming because I didn't look in the kit to see that I have to use some of these because they have some of the brackets on them for the rubber insulators. So they gave you 2 of them kind of come like this. This one goes up here in this insulator, and it's part of the hanger. But so I'm gonna have some extras, but it's not a big deal. I think they're only like 20 bucks for 4. I did get, take you off the tripod. So I got, sorry for the lighting. This is kind of where I have this so it doesn't get all rained on, and I ratchet strapped the tent to the wheels to keep it from blowing away because I didn't put the little screw posts in to tie it down. So anyway, so I got some stainless lines. Now they came from Fine Lines. They're the only company that I saw that actually sells a stainless kit for this. So I got the front one. The front goes on pretty well. It bends from that corner and it kind of wraps around to the other. The intermediate line I thought was going to come in 2 pieces. It came in 1 piece, and it was kind of rolled up in 2 spots, and you have to stretch it out. The problem I'm having with that is it's not long enough. It's about 1 inch or 2 too short. So I called them and I asked them about it, and they're going to have their mechanic call me. I took some pictures. I mean, it's pretty self-explanatory how it goes. Right there, I've got it in the line, so there's no moving. That's where that's got to be. And it kind of came along. Now I put the other one on top. You can see the black one there. That's the original one to kind of overlay it. So you can see right here, I actually took some of the bend out of it to try to get it to extend, and it just doesn't make it. That's what we wind up with. It stops just short, and it's got to go in there a little ways. So I mean, I could probably make it work, but that line was $75, and I'd kind of rather have it right than not right. So the pictures that they have show it as 2 pieces. So I don't know if it was always 2 pieces. I'm just kind of speculating. I haven't heard back from them yet because I called them yesterday was Friday. I called them at like 3, and I guess the guy who's supposed to know wasn't there. So they're only open Monday to Friday. I think 8 to 5 or something. So I'll probably hear from them Monday, I imagine. So this isn't an aftermarket brake line. That is an actual factory brake line. So I'm not worried about that. So I think what happened was possibly is that this originally came as a 2-piece line, and I think maybe they're not accounting for the union that would be in that line, because that would probably put it right where it needs to be. I don't know if they always made it 1 piece or if they what the deal is, but that's the only thing I can really think of, is maybe they used to make it 2-piece and now they make it 1 piece, and they're only accounting for the amount of material they had been using, and they're not accounting for the union that is now not there. There's some mosquitoes in here. So yeah, so that's kind of where I am right now. I put the supply line in for the fuel line. I got to get the tank in, but I can't get the tank in until I get the brake line on, and I got to put the harness in. So it would have been nice when when I got this frame, they had the fuel lines on here, and I was like, oh, that's awesome, because they actually were in nice shape. They had the harness on here for the electrical to the back, which I don't know what it is about the salt and stuff, but it seems to really degrade the wiring, because this one that I had that came on this, it was actually in really good shape, but the one that was on here is like, it's cracking, and there's some spots that corroded through that I have to repair. But the problem that I had was when they picked this up, however they did it, they stabbed all the wiring in the brake. They got the brake line, but I bent it up a little bit, and they got the bottom, the return line, and they bent it all down and just kind of ruined everything except for that supply line. I mean, the fuel tank was with it too. I'm trying to drain the fuel out of the old tank because it's old, and it's probably like 4 or 5 years old at least, and I'm trying to just get it out of there because I don't want to run it through if I don't have to, because I don't really care that much about 10 gallons worth of fuel. So I'm trying to drain that, and I thought, well, maybe I'll use the tank that came on here. It might be in better condition, and they cut the whole bottom of it up with the forks too. They're really, I mean, I understand you gotta make a profit and you can't treat everything as though it's a prize, but I mean, they basically they kind of ruined a lot of stuff I could have used and gave me stuff that's not junk I gotta get rid of. But I guess it is what it is. So I think I'm gonna needle scale this transmission because it's really kind of flaky, and I want to just kind of throw some paint on it, just to kind of cover it up. I mean, it's a pretty thick material. I'm not worried about rotting through or anything. I just, all the work we're going through, I don't want to just kind of leave all this crap in there. So I'm gonna needle scale that off and kind of give that a coat of paint. So I still got to cut the hole in the floor of the cab. It's right there underneath that. Cat was living in it all winter, apparently. Some pet hair everywhere. So I guess another problem I was having with these brake lines is I bought the rear kit for the axle. I mean, to be honest, I'm probably not even going to drive this in the salt to begin with, so I don't even know why I'm really wasting my time. But so the brake lines that come, they're like one piece. You got the rubber line, and then you got the steel line, are all in one piece. And where they bolt on the back of the spring perch, right in the middle. And the rubber line has like the step in it, so it bolts in the center. But these lines they gave me don't have a step in it, so they don't bolt up where they belong. And it's like a multiple piece thing that the original ones aren't. So I can't use the rubber line that came with it initially. I have to use these ones, and I have to re-drill a hole, or I have to drill a new hole, and I have to tap it to hold that rubber line so I can mount it. And then, so another issue I've had was right here where the hole is in the axle, there's a vent tube bolt, which is hollow. I don't think I have it in here. But to get the original one off, I had to try to remove it, and it was seized inside the original one, so it broke. And I'm waiting for one of those to come. So basically what I have to do is I have to bolt the flex line down so I have my fixed point, and then bolt the lines up, and then bolt them up into there, and then drill my holes. So everything's kind of located where it needs to be. So fun. I still got to tighten down all the hardware for the suspension. I haven't tightened that either. And I bought some front shocks because I don't have the shocks in there. And I kind of want to finish that up there. So I got the front shocks so I could pull the towers off, or the brackets off, and then I'm going to finish painting those and put the shocks in. I got the Bilstein 4600s. I tried to get the 51s. I don't know why. Maybe it's a bigger number. I just felt like they'd be better, but they didn't have them in stock. They only had one in stock, so I got the 4600. I guess it should be fine for what I'm doing. I guess the 5100s are better for lifted and off-road trucks and heavy-duty applications, and the other ones are more of an upgraded stock application, and this is all just going to be stock, so I guess I'm not worried about it. I'm waiting for those to come. I was hoping they'd be here today. Initial tracking said they'd be here today, but they're not here. They ended up changing it yesterday, and won't be here till tomorrow, possibly, or probably Monday. So yeah, so I'm gonna go ahead and we'll put this exhaust in and get it kind of situated where it needs to be. Probably tighten down some of it. Like I said, I'm waiting for a couple of lap joint clamps to come, and we'll finish it up. So while I'm tightening the clamp, I will tap it around the outside, kind of like right here, because what'll happen is as you're tightening this, it'll just squeeze the end here. It'll still be loose back there, so you got to kind of keep tapping around the outside of it to get it to sit into the groove as you tighten this. And if you want a torque for that, it's like 115 inch-pounds or 120 inch-pounds. It's the same as like a quarter 20 bolt. So that's basically in. I'm not going to use the clamp that they gave me. It's basically another one of these they gave me for the back of this. I'm not going to use that because I'm just going to use those lap band clamps. I think they're a little bit better. I can't say I'm a fan of this one. I'm trying to orient this. I mean, I might still have to move it because I don't know how far down the bed's going to be. But I'm not really a fan of the way this clamp and everything works, just because it leaves too much movement in there between all the pieces, and then trying to get it clamped. It's kind of a pain. When I had the other one done, or when I got the other exhaust system, it was probably 5 or 6 years ago. They had welded, I think this was one piece basically, and that was welded to the pipe. So you just hooked it in, and then you hooked this in and slid it together. It was a lot better than I think the clamp. I mean, I'm sure that's easier for them. Along with this, I think that one I had to actually bolt a clamp on here that this went to. But I mean, I'm sure that's easier for them. But I personally, I thought it was a better the way they did it past. Alright, so I got my clamps. I like to put them up so things won't catch them underneath, and if you're kind of like sliding under there working on stuff, it's a little harder to catch yourself on them because they are sharp on the edges. So I got the 1, 2, 3. We use that one. And then this guy, I'm really hoping that this isn't too high. I hope it doesn't hit the bottom of the bed, because I'll have to do some adjusting then. I'd have to probably loosen up this one and that and kind of try to tweak it. So, got some of these Bilstein shocks I'm going to slip in there. I took the top bracket off. So, put that in there. And bolt it in. Put some never seize on there so they don't kind of seize into the bushing as easy. So these come with all your bits and pieces and your 2 upper washers. Just so you know, that goes on there. This is the lower part. It does say lower on it. It's got a little steel bushing that you push in there. Put that on. I gotta get the bracket. So the way I push this down was I just put the Allen key in there. It's a 6mm. I push down on that to get my nut started. And you got like a handle. Should be dry. I painted that yesterday. Put the top piece on. And the top washer. I believe we're there. We'll tighten up the other side and should be done. Okay, so what I did was with these rear brake lines, I put them in where they needed to be. I got this new vent tube bolt there, and I just had this in loosely, and I tightened, or I put the 2 lines in there that go out, and I just got them kind of lined up where they need to be. I got the ends in, and the flex line, and I just kind of held it up here where it best fit, and I punched a hole, or I used the punch to make a, I don't remember what you call it, a little divot there so I can start my drill. And so that's how I got my locations that I have to drill So I did that on this side. I did the same thing over here. This one's a little closer to the caliper than I would like. It's like 1/4 of an inch away, so I'm gonna probably have to do a little bit more tweaking once I get the bolt in there and kind of make it work. So I'm gonna drill them and tap them, and then I should be all set with the lines on the axle here. I got the flex line. I just have to get the front line in, or the intermediate line. So I got the front line on, and the rubber lines the rubber lines are bolted to the frame, and they're just kind of all set and they're loose. I'm gonna have like a torquing extravaganza when I'm done with all this, because basically I just left everything kind of loose. Hopefully I don't miss anything. So I got these in on both sides. Got the line right where it's supposed to be with the clip. Here it is on this side. Up and around town. Here it is on this side. So I think I'm all done with this part of the brake system. So I'm working on this fuel line. Interesting issue I had come up. Because this is an 03, the 0304 had the fuel pump right here on the back of the housing there. So they make this upgrade kit that they started putting in these trucks to convert it to a fuel pump that goes inside the fuel tank. This one was never converted. So basically part of that conversion is it's a line that comes from the supply line with a quick connect, and then it comes to a banjo fitting with a quick connect and a little adapter that goes on here. I can't really find the adapter. They don't make them anymore. They're all discontinued from the factory. I looked around for it and I can't find that little adapter to take this off. I also can't find the earlier sender. There's a screen at the bottom, and I tried to clean the bottom of the screen, so basically it snaps on, and then there's a screen on the top and the bottom of the bottom cap. So I tried to clean the screen. When I was taking it off, it tore part of the screen. So I can't find, and it was all real dirty too, so I had to get it off to clean it, and it tore the filter on the inside. So I can't find the earlier sender either. All I can find is the updated versions. I mean, they probably exist somewhere. I just can't find them myself. So, being I couldn't upgrade this to the fuel pump that I had, that came on this frame with the tank that was in it, because I had the upgraded fuel pump. So because I didn't have the fitting there, I couldn't upgrade that filter housing, and I also couldn't get the old sender, so I'm kind of stuck in the middle. So I ended up getting a fast pump, which was more money than I wanted to spend at this point. I figured I was kind of done spending money. So I got the fast pump. Now the fast pump runs its own 1/2-inch line up to the CP3 pump. So I took out the supply line because I don't need the supply line. So I do need the return line. So I left the return line on. I got to put another fitting in there because I cut it off the other one because it was rusted in. So I'm gonna press a quick connect in there with my quick connect kit. Like I said, I removed the supply line because I don't need it, and my custom made brake line is right there. So I'm gonna put that on. I'm gonna put a fitting in there, and that should be probably what I'm gonna do today. I'll make another video installing the fast pump, but basically I'm gonna delete this filter housing here, go right to the CP3 pump, and the fast pump has 2 pumps in it, or 1 pump in it, 2 filters in it, water separator and a 3 micron filter, I believe. So I mean, I guess I thought about it later. I probably could have put a pump or a filter in line to this pump here, but I mean, I think they're kind of prone to failure anyway, and a filter would just add more restriction, and more restriction will equal more cavitation and stuff in the pump. So I didn't really want to do that. So I think the way I'm doing it is probably the better way of doing it, I guess, with my limited options at the moment. So let's get a new fitting pressed into there, and we can put this brake line in. So I got this little gun here that presses the fittings in, and I got some fittings. So let's go ahead and insert that. That goes in there like this. I'm going to take this piece here, see which one's 5/16. I think I got 1/4, 5/16, and 3/8. So you basically sandwich it between this plate. Bolt this onto here. Kind of takes a little effort to get started. Is that? Gonna need 3 hands for this. Doesn't help there's a bend right there too. That doesn't damage it. So yeah, that's in there. A little bit of a recommendation I would have is if you have to replace one of these fittings here, I try to cut it off right at the first bump there, or the first rib, and then you have a little bit of a flare already started in here, so it's easier to get it to start into the nylon. So here's that. It should be good. Hopefully I didn't, like I say, hopefully I didn't damage that nylon line. So we're good to go. New piece. That's a lot of brake line. So this line was a stainless line. Like I say, the first one I got was a little bit short, so after talking with them for a while, they ended up having me send my steel line that was on this frame to them, and then the line that I had gotten, and they bent this line to match the line that was on the frame. So I mean, I ordered these lines in June. Right now it's, I think it was in the middle of September I started having the problem putting it on. So I mean, I had them for 3 months before I contacted them about it, and I had to contact them a few times, and dealt with a couple of people, but one of the salesmen that I got, he worked pretty well. He worked hard. He had me. He's the one who worked through the sending the back and stuff, and they got me what I needed. And they I don't know if they have warranties on the stuff. I didn't really look at that, but they did stand behind their product. So I mean, like I say, I had it for 3 months before I contacted them, and they worked it out, and they got me one that works. I don't know if this is exactly the way the other one was. I thought this was done a little differently, but I did have to bend it to put it in the box, so it might have kind of disrupted some stuff. So I mean, all in all, it fits. It's pretty good. I'm satisfied with it. Like I say, it's a little bit odd in here, but I mean, it is what it is. It's better than the first one I got, and it makes it. So I mean, it's hard to get everything exactly right because the size of the box. To get 13 feet of brake line in a 4-foot box, you obviously have to bend it in a couple of places, and I mean, it might have come out of the machine exactly perfect, and me, because there was a bend in here, me bending this back, I might have twisted something. So like I say, all in all, I'm pretty happy with it. So we got the brake lines on for the most part. I do have the stainless ones on the front. Let me get a flashlight for you. So I do have the stainless line right there on the front where it comes down, wraps around underneath the cross member there over the other side, and comes and tucks right back out here. That one actually, it went in pretty good. Did need a little bit of tweaking, but it's to be expected. I mean, like I say, coming in a box, stuff gets kind of tweaked. Ain't gonna be perfect. So I got those on. I'm gonna wait to put these 3 upright lines on that go to the ABS module, or module, the ABS valve. It did also come with those ones. I had bought those because I knew I had to change them before I was going to do this whole cab off thing, and so I bought those 2 lines there out of the master cylinder. I think they're like $12 a piece, $15 a piece. And then I got stainless ones with the ones with the kit. So if you get the kit, it does come with those. It comes pretty much the whole front, everything in the front with one kit. Another one is the intermediate line. Like I say, that runs from there to here. Then we have the axle, the rear axle line. It's for, I think they said 10.5. It's only for the Ram 03 to 09, 2500 and 3500 with the diesel or the V10. So like I said, we got that on. This one was separate, it wasn't in a kit. But we got that. So the only thing that they don't have that comes in the kit that's stainless is the front lines, or the front hoses, which I have on here that I got from Mopai. So, I mean, that's that for the brake lines for now, anyway. So, yeah, next thing I have to do, it's like now I got this on because it kind of goes behind there. I didn't plug this in, so we got our new end on here. Oh, if we're in the shot, I got this new end on here. Plug it in there, and we should be good with that. I got a bolt that I'm going to stuff in this line, because I don't know if from my previous videos when I had this running, I just had a line coming out of there, and then this one going right into a fuel tank so I could start it, because I didn't want to use any of the fuel out of that crappy tank, or the bad fuel anyway. So pull that off and plug that return line in, and it's starting to come together.